Hello students, welcome back. In the last session we were discussing about the swing buttons. In that we have discussed J button and J toggle button in the last session. Today we will discuss the other swing buttons, that is J checkbox and J radio button. So let's start. Checkbox, as we know, the purpose of checkbox it is to display multiple items and from which a user can select any number of items. So checkbox are used to display items where user is allowed to select multiple items at a time. There are many different applications of checkbox. For example, if you are displaying a form with the options like hobbies, where a user may have multiple hobbies and these hobbies can be displayed with a checkbox, when user can select multiple checkboxes. So checkbox in Java Swing it is provided by a class called as JCheckbox. Its immediate superclass is JToggleButton. JToggleButton we have studied in the last session, and this JToggleButton it is the superclass of JCheckbox. If you look at the behavior of a checkbox and a toggle button, you will see some similarities. Toggle button has two states, that is on and off, even in case of checkbox, that is checked and unchecked, which is similar to on and off. Okay, and that is the reason some of the things in the J checkbox have been inherited from J toggle button. So checkbox inherits J toggle button. When user selects or deselects a checkbox, an item event is generated. This is important. The event which is generated by the checkbox, it is item event, like the toggle button again. We can obtain a reference to a checkbox that generated the event by calling get item. So this is an important method. In case of checkboxes, you may have multiple checkboxes on the GUI, and to know which checkbox from the list of checkboxes has generated an event, you can use a method called as get item method. Okay, the constructor by which you can create a checkbox, it is J checkbox, which takes string as an argument. So this is one important constructor of it, by using which we can create a checkbox. As I've said, checkbox may look something like this, a square box along with some text. Okay, so let us go through an example to see how a checkbox is created. Okay, so again this is an applet program, so we have imported certain things which are required in every applet program, and this is the HTML code, and we have a Java code from here, the class declaration JCheckbox demo, which is extending JApplet, and it is also implementing item listener. Remember, as the class is implementing item listener, that means this class JCheckbox demo acts as a listener class. Okay, so in this we have a declaration of a JLabel. Then inside the init method we have swing utilities. We are creating event dispatching thread, and from inside the event dispatching thread we are trying to create a GUI by calling a method called as make GUI. So our code to create a GUI, it is in make GUI. Let's move to make GUI. So this is make GUI function. In this as in other make GUI functions, first we are setting the layout to flow layout. Here we are creating checkboxes. Now see how a checkbox is created. J checkbox CB is equals to new J checkbox, and the string here it is C. So we are creating a J checkbox which will create a checkbox like this, and the checkbox has some label on it, and that is C. Then we are adding a listener to it, cb.add item listener. as checkbox generate item event, we are adding item listener, and we are passing this. As we are passing this, as I have said, the current class it will handle the event here. In earlier cases, we had anonymous inner classes or inner classes as a listener class which handles the event, but here we are passing this. This represents a current object. So, the current class will handle the event. Then we have add CB. So, the checkbox which is created will be added on the container, applet container. Then we are creating one more checkbox here, CB. Actually, we can name it, we can have a different name for this, and it has to be declared incomplete. We have to say J checkbox. J checkbox will say CB2 is equals to new J checkbox, and it will have the text that is C++. So, we have created one more checkbox like this. It will display, and the text it is C++. Again, the item listener has been added, and we are passing this to it, and it has been added on the container. Same way, we are creating one more checkbox with the text that is Java. Again, a listener has been added, and the checkbox has been added to the container. Then the next checkbox is created with the text poll. Same again, listener, and it has been added on the container. And lastly, we have created a J label, you can see, and the J label will display text that is select language. So, this is the text which is displayed on the J label. Then the J label is added on the container. Then this is the closing bracket of our make GUI, and then we have one more function, that is public void item state changed. Now, this is the function which is called whenever you check or uncheck the checkbox. Whenever user clicks on the checkbox, this is the method which is called, and this method it is present in the interface, that is item listener interface, and our class is inheriting item listener interface, remember. So, our class should compulsorily provide definition of item state changed event. So, we have used this method item state changed, which takes item event as an argument, and inside this function or method, first what we have done, we have created a variable of type J checkbox CB, which is equals to IE. What is IE here? It is an object of item event. IE dot get item. We have studied about this get item method. What get item does? Get item will give us the reference of the checkbox which has been clicked. I have shown you some checkboxes we have created, like we have created 4 checkboxes, I said. Okay. So, like this, when a user clicks on the first checkbox, say like this, reference of this checkbox we can get by using get item, and that reference we are storing in CB. Now, CB is equals to this first checkbox. If I click on the second checkbox, then this checkbox's reference we can get by using get item, and that is stored in CB. Now, CB is pointing to the second checkbox, okay, and so on. Whatever checkbox you click, its reference we can get by using get item, and once you have the reference, you can perform any operation on that particular checkbox. Now, what we are doing here, we are checking if CB dot is selected. Now, consider I have clicked on the first checkbox like this, and the reference of the first checkbox is stored in CB, and when I say CB dot is selected, now it will check if the checkbox is selected. Now, the checkbox is selected, you can see. If it is selected, this is selected will return true, and if it is true, what we are doing, we are displaying something on the label. Now, jlab dot set text cb.getText. CB, what is there in the CB? Now CB is representing this particular box, and cb.getText will give us the text which is associated with this checkbox, the text which is associated with the first checkbox, that is C. So this will give us C, cb.getText will give us C, and plus we are concatenating E is selected, so this will print C is selected. If cb dot is selected is false, then it will go to the else part. Now consider, I am still clicking on the first checkbox. Now right now it is checked. When I again click on it, it will get unchecked. This will become blank, okay, unchecked. And again the reference is stored in CB. When I say cb dot is selected, now if you look at the checkbox is not selected, so this will return false, is selected will return false, and this will go to the else part. In the else part we are displaying cb dot getText, again the text associated with the checkbox is C, so it will give us C is cleared, okay. Same way it will work for other checkboxes as well. If you click on the last one, okay, so last one I'll say the text is Perl here, Perl, so its reference is stored in CB, and when you say is selected, right now it is selected, so it will display cb.getText, that is Perl is selected, it will display. If I again click on that, this will get deselected, it will display Perl is cleared. So this is the output of the program which I have shown you. You can click on any of those checkboxes, that will get checked, and if you click it again, it will get unchecked, and its label is displayed on the J label. So Java, when you click on Java, Java is selected, is displayed. If you again click on it, it will display Java is cleared, okay. So this is how you can create a J checkbox and we can handle event on it. Let us move to the next component, that is J radio button. Now J radio button, it is almost similar like a checkbox, but a major difference between the two is, in J radio button you can select only one item at a time, you cannot select multiple items. If you select one item, the other selected items will automatically get deselected. So that is J radio button. There are many applications of J radio button as well. For if you are creating a form where you need a gender can be male or female. So you can, if you select male, female will get automatically deselected. If you select female, male will get automatically deselected. Or there are other applications of J radio button as well. Now J radio button are group of mutually exclusive buttons in which only one button can be selected at any time. As I have said, mutually exclusive means if one is gets selected, other automatically gets deselected. Supported by J radio button class which extends toggle button. Again even this extends toggle button. You can create it by using a constructor J radio button which takes string as an argument. J radio button must be configured in group. This is very important about the J radio button, because without configuring J radio button in a group, it will not work in a mutually exclusive manner. That is, if you select one, other gets deselected, that will not work if you do not configure radio buttons in the group. Okay, so how to configure it in group we will see in example. Elements are added to the button group via the following method. You can add elements to the group by using a method add. So we have to create a button group, and to the button group we can add the radio buttons by using add method. A J radio button generates action event. Now this is one more important thing about a radio button. Radio button generates action event, it generates item event and change event. Even radio button generates change event each time the button selection is changed. So the different events are generated by radio button. So you can handle a action event or a item event or even a change event on a radio button. Now let us go through an example. So all these things are required, okay, and HTML code. Then we have a class name, extending applet, again implementing action listener. Now on the radio button we want to handle action event here, not item event. So we have implemented action listener in this program. Then in the init, on the event dispatching thread, we are creating a GUI. In the make GUI, first thing layout is set. After layout is set, we are creating radio buttons. J radio button B1 is equals to new radio button, and the text associated with the radio button is A, and we are adding an action listener to this, and we are passing this as a event handler here. Then the button is added on the container. Same way second button is created, listener is added and the button is added on the container. Third is created, listener has been added and the button is added on the container. And then we are adding all these three buttons into a group, and as I have said, this is important for a behavior that is mutual exclusion for a radio button. So how to create a group here? Button group BG is equals to new button group. So you have to create an object of button group, and we have to add all the radio buttons to this group by using a add method. You can see here bg.add, our radio button B1 has been added, radio button B2 has been added, radio button B3 has been added. Okay. Then we are adding a label with the text select one, and that is added on the container. Now how the event has been handled? Now you can see public void action perform. Now our class is implementing action listener, and as it is implementing action listener, it should provide us the method action performed. So in the action performed, we are displaying jlab.text use selected ae.getAction command. Now we know about getAction command. GetAction command always returns the action command text which is associated with the button. So radio button will look something like this, and we have created the radio buttons with the text that is A, B and C. So whenever I click on the radio button, this is get selected like this, and it generates an action event, and to handle action event, action performed is executed. In the action performed, when I say ae.getAction command, ae will store reference to the button which has been clicked. So when I say ae.getAction command, this will give us action command text. By default, the action command text, it is the text which is displayed along with the button. So text, it is A. So it will give us you selected A. If you click on B, then again it will call the action performed, and in here it will display ae.getAction command. So this time it will give us action command as B, and similar for C. And when you select B, A will automatically get deselected, remember. So this is how we can create J radio buttons in Java Swing. Okay, this is the output of our program. If I select A, B will deselected. If I select C, the all other items will get deselected. Okay, this is about the J radio button, and with this we will stop here in today's session. We will continue our discussion of Swing components even in the next session. Thank you.